Okie dokie, hello everybody. In this video I'm going to be talking about solving square root functions. I don't know why I'm talking like Count Chocula, but Happy Halloween, unless it's the spring and then it's Happy Easter. I want to suck your blood, Easter Bunny. Alright, so solving square roots. This is not a square root function, this is a square function. But I want to show you that here, in order to get rid of the square, what we did is we took the square root. And we said x is plus or minus 3 in this case, right? Such that plus or minus 3 squared is 9. So kind of square roots and squares are inverse operations of each other. You'll learn more about that when we get into graphing them. But big hint, in order to get rid of a square root, you can actually square both sides. So if we square both sides, that gets rid of the square root such that I have x equals 9. Now, here's where we have to be careful, because if we put 9 back into our original equation, square root of 9 is positive 3, so we are good to go, and that is a solution. However, if we have an equation something like this, where we would solve it the same way, we'd take the square root of both sides, we would have x equals 9. But if I put in 9 into my original function, the square root of 9 equals negative 3. The square root of 9 equals positive 3. It's not going to be negative. So really, truly, anytime you have the square root of any number, makes no difference, it can never be a negative number. That's just not possible. It can come out imaginary, if you remember from our quadratics unit right before we took the midterm, but it cannot be a negative number. Knowing that, we just need to check our answers as we go, because this one would actually have no solution since that does not work. So we would say no solutions, or we could write it as the empty set. That 0 with the line through it means the empty set. Super fancy. All right, but same ideas. Solving this, all we have to do in order to get rid of the square root is we can square both sides. Make sure you do it both sides. So we have x minus 3 equals 4. Add the 3 to the other side, x equals 7. If we plug it back into our original function to check our answer, we have the square root of 7 minus 3, which is the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is indeed positive 2. Alright, so here, I don't even have to do any work. I see the square root of something equals a negative number. I know there is no solution. Not possible. Moving on. Oh yeah, I liked that one. That one was cool. Let's do only those. I only want to do those problems. Too bad. So sad. Go back and find your dad. I don't know. That's just like rhyming. So if I have the square root of something, we can square both sides. So I have 100 equals n minus 3. Add 3 to the other side because it's just an equation at this point. So we have n equals 103. We have the square root of 103 minus 3, which is a positive square root, so it will come out to be positive 10. All right, here, a little bit different, because this minus 10 is throwing us off. We don't have just a square root on one side like we've had all before, but super easy to move that to the other side, so I can add 10, so that makes 0 there, and I have the square root of negative 1 minus r equals 1. So here, now that we have the square root by itself, I can square that side and square that side. So I have negative 1 minus r equals 1. If I add 1 to the other side, negative r equals 2. Divide by negative 1, or flip the signs, r equals negative 2. Now if I plug it back into my original function, I have minus a negative 2, which is positive 2. So this is 2, and negative 1 make 1. The square root of 1 minus 10 is indeed negative 9. Happy day. All right, here, same idea. We want to try to get our square root by itself. So the first thing we can do is subtract that 10 to the other side. So minus 10, such that I have 30 equals 10 square root m plus 9. This 10 is multiplying our square root, so if I divide by 10 and I divide by 10, I have 3 equals the square root of m plus 9. Or to get rid of that square root, square both sides, so square and square. So I have 9 equals m plus 9. Subtract 9 to the other side, so minus 9 and minus 9, m equals 0. Happy day. If you plug it back into your original function, check your answer. You have 0 plus 9, which is square root of 9, so 3. 3 times 10 is 30. So yeah, it's fine. It's good. It's good. It's cool. All right. Excuse me. Next type of problem we're going to look at is use a power model to fit the data. So this is the same thing that we were doing in our calculator before. We're given a set of data, so we can go to go out to dat. If you go to stat, so stat is right there. It says stat. So if I hit stat and I choose edit, I can edit my list. List 1 is my x values, so 42, 56, 71, 85, 98. And then list 2 is my y values, so 726, 838, 944, 1033, 1109. Check my list, 42, 56, 71, 85, 98, 726, 838, 944, 1033, 1109. All right, double check your list, just because if you're a little bit off, your equation is going to be completely wrong. So I want to make sure I get the right equation, so I check my list. All right, then I quit out of that screen. I go back to stat. Now I want to calculate. Now notice this says find the power model. So I'm going to go to the one that I think means power. Well, power kind of looks like that, except it's missing the O and the E. OE. So if I choose power regression and I press enter, that is telling me I have a times x to the b. So notice a is 111.897 if I round. So 111.897 will go there. And the b is the 0.5002. So 0.5003, whatever. If you want to put 0.500, round it, cool. So we have y equals 111.897 times x, because I have an x to the b, so times x to the b, which was 0.5003. That's it. So just be very, very careful typing it in your calculator. That's really the hardest part about that one. All right, we can do a little bit of more solving, then we'll be done. You guys are doing good. So last short video. Yeah. All right, so here I have the square root by itself, so I can square both sides, Please do not forget that this is x minus 3 times x minus 3, and then this will be equals x plus 27. So when I distribute that left-hand side, I will come out with x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals x plus 27. Hey, oh, I think I've seen this type of equation before. I think this is a quadratic. Oh, you would be right. Yes, you remembered. So if I move over that x and I move over that 27, so minus x and minus 27, so minus x from there, minus 27, I have x squared minus 7x minus 18 equals 0. So it's easiest if we can factor it, we can. Happy day, so x minus 9 and x plus 2 equals 0. So my solutions are 9 and x equals negative 2. Check both of those in your original function. If I put 9 in here, that's 9 plus 27 is a positive number, so cool. If I put in negative 2 plus 27 is a positive number. Hey-oh, good to go. We have two solutions for that problem. All right, moving on. Here, I have two square roots, but don't freak out, because they're both by themselves. It's so easy, because all we have to do, if we square both sides exactly how it is, then this super easy algebra 1 equation, so negative 13 minus 2x. So then all I have to do, I can get my x's together by adding 2x and plus 2x, such that that makes 0. Now I want to put my numbers on the opposite side, so plus 6 and plus 6. So I am left with x equals negative 7. So now check your work, make sure it actually works. Negative 7 in here would be positive 7 and negative 6 is 1. Negative 7 here would be positive 14 and negative 13 is 1. So we are good to go. That is a fine answer.
It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I'll put a bow on it. Oh, it's so pretty.
Banana. All right. So we have, again, same sort of idea. We have two square roots by themselves. So I can square both sides in order to get rid of the square roots. So I have 26 minus 2x equals 2x minus 10. Get my like terms together. So I'm going to add 2x in order to move it from that side to this side. And I am going to add 10 to both sides so that I can get my numbers on the same side. So I have 36 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4. X equals 9. Check your answer. Please, please, please check your answer. 26 minus 2 times 9 would be 26 minus 18, so that's positive, so I'm cool on that side. 2 times 9 is 18 minus 10 is positive, so I'm cool on that side, so x equals 9. All right, that's all I got for you guys. I'll draw you a monkey with x equals 9 as his face, and I will see you in class. Please, 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 let me know what questions you guys have. Love you guys. Bye-bye.